So in my last video, I talked about how I'm a healthcare worker and I work at a hospital. So I've been going to work and how that's causing me a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety because I'm hearing things from my parents, my husband, my cat, and like just in the news, it just all has made me really worried, and I can tell I'm breaking out, and I have just been under a lot of stress. So today I want to talk about the things that I've been implementing the past couple of weeks for me to become a better and more accepting about this whole, virus thing going on and stuff. So, all right, let's just talk about that. So one of the first things I started doing at the beginning of this whole entire thing was I was watching the news a lot, which I normally don't do. I don't consume any media or news because I feel like most of it is really negative. But during the whole outbreak and everything, I started watching it more just to keep myself updated, especially since I work at a hospital. I just wanted to make sure that it was lining up with, how I feel and how the hospital feels about people coming in. So I was watching it a lot, and it caused me so much anxiety. And I am not a person that suffers from anxiety or stress. I'm very zen. Everyone can always tell you I'm very down to earth. I try to just see the other side and be optimistic about things. But definitely this whole coronavirus thing has made me feel very uncomfortable. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. Even people who say they don't suffer from anxiety and, panic attacks and stuff or panic anything, I feel like those people are also feeling very uncomfortable and really just weird, around this time. So one of the things that I started doing, because I felt like the media and me watching all the news I was just consuming all of it, and I was getting really paranoid, very scared. I scared my coworkers because they weren't scared, and I was like, why aren't you scared? And so I decided, let's just cut it off. So I cut off media and news as much as I can. The only things I do keep up with are I check it maybe once or twice a day, like ABC7 in LA, or I watch the White House people and Trump and stuff. I watch them just to see if there's any updates. They don't really talk about anything concerning. At the beginning they did, but then now they're just more okay, they're kind of saying the same things now. So I limit the news. I recommend, especially at this point, it's been 3 weeks. We know what's happening. We know it's going to happen. So let's just accept the fact that it's happening, and it's just going to continue on this way for a while. So just limit the news. At this point, you don't need the news. You already know what they're going to say. If there is something that's very important, I'm sure you'll hear it from multiple sources. You'll probably get a text from someone because, my mom is usually the news for me. She was always sending me stuff updates and stuff you shouldn't do this, you should do that, so limit the news. I totally recommend just limiting the news. And along with the news, I also started limiting social media, but I say that I'm not really limiting social media, but I am at the same time. So I'm not consuming things that have to do with the coronavirus unless it's funny or I'm making the content. So recently I've been trying to up my TikTok game. So if you want, you can follow me on TikTok at Jessica Loberstein. That's my name. My maiden name is Jessica Lopez, but I got married a year and a half ago, I guess. And I changed my name to Jessica Loberstein, but I still go by Jessica Lopez because I love that name. But anyway, so I started TikTok, and now I'm making content about different things, funny things. I'm trying to be, more uplifting, more thinking about what I can do at this time, to make myself feel better. So it's one of the things that has made me feel so much better, is making funny content and going on TikTok and just watching people. But again, TikTok is very addicting, so don't do that all day. But I do say it's okay to look at memes and to watch funny videos, because that's the stuff that's making me smile and make me laugh. And then I see my neighbors doing TikToks or filming videos, and I'm like, wow, it's is that what I look like? But, social media is still important. That's how we are keeping in touch with our friends and families and stuff. But I also know that we see a lot of fake stuff on there. That's where I started going into this conspiracy rabbit hole about all these different conspiracies of what's actually happening with the virus, and the way that the US is acting, the way that China's acting. You go into those rabbit holes, and I don't recommend doing that, because you will drive yourself insane, and then you will also feel like other people are just insane, more insane than you. So I don't recommend going on social media and seeing these like theories of different people or seeing these facts from different bloggers and influencers. Like, don't trust anything that they say. Most influencers like don't even have like any sort of science degree or any sort of science background, so don't even listen to them. I will say that I am following, obviously, Dr. Fauci, because I absolutely love his accent and I love his he's just such a cute guy. And then I follow Dr. Mike, which I will also post in the description. I'll put it somewhere here because Dr. Mike is funny. I've been following him for like a few months. He's a really good looking doctor that talks about facts and stuff, and he's like, he does meme reviews. Like, I just love watching him, and he has been talking about the coronavirus, and he's the person I've been watching the most when it comes to it. There are other doctors too that are doing like day in the life of an ER doctor with the coronavirus, and I watch those too because I feel like a lot of the media just wants us to see certain things, whereas like they are real life, you know, that's real. The media, they are really good at manipulating things, so I don't fully trust them. But if you watch like a day in the life of a nurse or an EMT or a doctor, just like Dr. Mike, they are more realistic about what's going on.
Dr. Mike Warshawski, board-certified family medicine physician, and I want to take on the top 10 questions on COVID-19 that I've received from my friends, family, social.
The other thing that I've been doing a lot is, and I'm not saying that you guys should do all of these, but these are the things that helped me because honestly, I was very stressed 2 weeks ago. But the next thing that I want to do is like, I started distracting myself, and that also included with like social media, TikTok, Instagram, but just doing things at home. You know, I started meditating, I started journaling a little bit more. I'm not meditating every day. I probably did it twice in the past like week, but it's something, you know. We go for walks, and I make sure to put on something on my face just to cover it, because not only are you protecting yourself, but you're protecting other people. Matt and I could be asymptomatic and be giving it to all these people that are not going to be asymptomatic. So you just have to take care of yourself, but make sure you're taking care of everyone else too. I do what my cat does and watch the neighbors, look at the crows and make fun of the crows, and so I like distract myself in those weird ways. We started cooking more. I'm making more videos like for TikTok, for YouTube, you know, just entertain yourself in a way that doesn't really make you even more stressed out about your life. You know, I know these are all very stressful times for everyone, so I totally get it, but I think it's also good to not consume everything now. It's been 3 weeks, you know, like it doesn't seem like this is going anywhere yet, so it's okay to just take a deep breath. If you want, we can take some breaths right now. Feels much better. It really does. One thing that I also wanted to start doing a lot more, which, you know, I haven't been doing all that good about, but is talking to your parents. I realized during this whole entire thing that my parents and everyone's parents are very vulnerable right now. You know, they're the ones that should be staying home the most, because we've seen the statistics. We've seen like what's happening in Italy and Spain and stuff. It's mostly affecting the older people. And so I've just told my parents, don't go anywhere. My mom bought masks like months ago, and they live in the Bay Area, which has been hit a little harder than LA. I feel like they're now leveling up, but it hit them hard fast over there first. So, you know, I just keep them company. I mean, I'm used to staying at home. Matt's used to staying at home. My dad's used to working all the time, and I'm sure they feel the stress of like, my dad lost his job, by the way, so he's not working right now. My mom's not working right now, so it's a little stressful, and then that puts that stress onto me, because I'm like, okay, well, if they can't pay for their stuff next month, like that's gonna fall on me and my sister. So, you know, you start thinking things like, okay, like I'm getting ready to prepare and to make sure that my parents are good for the next few months, because they're the ones that shouldn't be going outside, you know. My mom's been ordering on Instacart, making sure that her Costco run is there. She like pays extra. She's tipping everyone extra, even though like she shouldn't be tipping them, because I'm sure the money's gonna run out if this doesn't change anytime soon. But, you know, I think they're just thinking, you know, we grew up in working in the food service industry, so we understand the stress and like just how much that time and like exposure really means to a person. So, but yeah, that talk to your parents. talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to your grandma. All of my grandparents passed away, unfortunately, like a few years ago, like a long time ago, like not at the same time, but I just mean like the last one passed away a few years ago. So, you know, I'm not fortunate enough to be able to call my grandma, but if you have your grandma, you should, and make sure that she's okay and that she's being entertained. You know, right now it's just a really weird time for everyone. So make sure that if you're uplifted, you've got to make sure that your parents are uplifted. Make sure that, I don't know, I've seen a lot of TikTok videos now with like kids and their parents like doing things together because they have nowhere else to go. So I don't know, just keep yourself entertained. Make sure you're talking to people that you actually care about and love. But yeah, you know, I get the stress and the anxiety and the frustration, and trust me, I'm not someone that suffers from these things, but obviously I am suffering from all these things. But I've learned in the past few weeks that it's not going to change anytime soon, it doesn't seem like. So let's just accept what's happening and do the best we can to keep ourselves sane and to keep other people sane. If you're with your parents, make sure you're not like going out to a party or hanging out with friends. Like, we shouldn't be doing that. We should all just be staying home. I sacrificed myself and I'm not gonna go see my parents in the Bay Area. I think I mentioned it in the previous video, because I could be asymptomatic and they, you know, are pre-diabetic, pre-hypertensive. I don't want to expose them to anything. My sister, she goes and visits them, but she's not leaving the house, so like I don't think she's exposing anybody. But who knows, you know, it just takes one person coughing, sneezing, running, and aspirating a lot, you know, for it to like hit you. So just stay home, cook at home, enjoy this time, because next thing you know, when everything starts opening up, we're going back to 9 to 5, we're hustling, you know. So just enjoy this time and be well. All right, see you guys next time. All right, we good.